Welcome in. Today we're diving into something pretty fantastic. 50 friendship journal prompts from Lestallion.
Ooh, okay.
They're really lovely journals too, but these prompts are like a gold mine if you're thinking about those important relationships in your life.
I see what you mean. I was struck by how well organized they are. It's not just a
Oh.
random list of ideas. They really prompt you to think about your friendships from all these different angles.
Right, like they've mapped out this whole journey through friendship, past, present, all of it. And that first section, reflecting on past friendships, that one hit me right in the feels. Especially that first prompt. Think about your earliest friend. How did they influence your childhood? Makes you realize how much those early connections shape us.
It's true. There's a ton of research on early childhood development that shows just how much those early friendships influence our social skills, our emotional intelligence, how we handle conflict even as adults.
Wow. So it's like those friendships are still with us in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's that prompt about a friend you've lost touch with, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it's like not all friendships are meant to last forever, right?
Right. And there's so much to learn from those experiences, too. Why did that friendship fade? What were the factors involved? It can help us understand our own needs and expectations in relationships.
Totally. Okay, shifting gears a bit to appreciating current friendships.
Mhm.
This section is just pure fun. This one made me smile. Write about a fun tradition you have with a friend. How did it start, and why is it important to you? It makes you realize how many little rituals we have with our friends without even realizing it.
You know, traditions are fascinating. They create this sense of shared identity, like an unspoken language that only you and your friend understand. There's actually research that shows that even silly traditions like a special handshake or an inside joke can strengthen bonds and make us feel more connected.
That's so true. My best friend and I, we do this ridiculous thing every time we eat Thai food. We try to come up with the most outlandish fortune cookie fortunes. It's totally goofy, but it's our thing, and it always makes us laugh.
I love that. And that's what this prompt encourages us to do, appreciate those little things that make our friendships unique.
For sure. But Lestallion doesn't shy away from the tough stuff either. This next section, strengthening friendships, that's where things get really real.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, there's this prompt, think about an area where you can improve as a friend. It's so easy to focus on what others can do right. But this is about taking responsibility for our own role in the relationship.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of self-awareness to really look at ourselves and ask, how can I be a better friend? But that's how we grow, right?
And being a better friend sometimes means being okay with those disagreements that come up, right? Because let's face it, not every little tiff has to turn into a friendship-ending explosion.
So true. It's all about how we handle those disagreements. And that's where this next section, exploring friendship dynamics, comes in.
This is where the real work comes in, right?
Yeah, it can be tough because we're talking about things like jealousy competition, those tricky conversations that can be hard to navigate.
This prompt, think about a time you and a friend had a major disagreement. How did you handle it, and what did you learn from the experience? I feel like we've all been there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's easy to either avoid those tough conversations altogether or let them blow up into something huge. But there's a middle ground, right?
Totally. So how do we find that middle ground? Are there any communication strategies that can help us navigate those tricky waters?
Absolutely. There's this thing called active listening, which is really about trying to truly hear and understand where the other person is coming from, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
So it's about empathy more than anything.
Exactly. And then there's this other approach called nonviolent communication, which focuses on expressing our own needs and feelings without blaming or judging the other person.
Okay, that sounds promising.
Yeah.
Less blame, more understanding.
Right. It can be a game changer for having those tough conversations in a way that feels safer and more productive.
I'm taking notes. Okay, so we've talked about reflection, we've talked about conflict, but Lestallion doesn't leave us hanging in the conflict zone, do they? There's got to be some fun stuff in here too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They wrap things up with a section called Celebrating Friendships.
Okay, now we're talking because friendships should be celebrated, right?
Exactly. It's about recognizing and appreciating
Mm.
those amazing people in our lives.
This feels like a sigh of relief after all that conflict talk. It's like a
Yeah.
reminder to pause, look around at those great people we have in our lives and just say, thank you for being you.
And there's actual science behind that. Studies have shown that expressing gratitude can strengthen relationships, boost happiness, and even improve our physical health.
Wow, gratitude is like a superpower.
It really is. And when it comes to friendships, it starts with noticing the little things. Pay attention to those small gestures that make you smile, that make you feel supported. And then tell them.
Just a simple, hey, I appreciate that you always can go a long way.
Totally. A handwritten note, a surprise coffee delivery, even just reminiscing about a fun memory you shared. Those gestures, big or small, can mean the world.
And it's not just about expressing gratitude to our friends, right? What about those outward celebrations, like throwing a party just because?
I love that. We often wait for birthdays or holidays, but why not create our own reasons to celebrate? A themed movie night, based on your inside jokes. A potluck where everyone brings a dish that reminds them of a fun time together.
So we've talked about those deep dives into the past, those friendships that lift us up, and even those disagreements that we all bump into. But what about those brand new friendships? The ones that are just starting to sprout?
You're so right. Those new connections are important too. And these prompts, they can actually be really helpful for nurturing those budding friendships.
Because sometimes it's hard, right? Like you meet someone, you think, hey, they seem cool, but then what? How do you even start to build that connection?
It's true. It's like you need a little nudge sometimes, a way to break the ice and move beyond those surface level conversations.
And that's where these prompts come in.
Exactly. They can spark those deeper conversations right from the get-go.
Like I'm picturing myself at a coffee shop and I see someone who looks interesting. Maybe I could be like, hey, I was just reading these friendship journal prompts and there's this one about fun traditions that's really got me thinking.
I love that. It's a conversation starter that goes beyond what do you do or nice weather we're having.
Right. And it's not just about that initial spark either. It's about keeping that momentum going as you're getting to know each other.
Absolutely. Instead of that vague, we should hang out sometime, these prompts can help you come up with more creative and intentional ways to connect.
Ooh, like give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you both discover you love to explore new places. You could suggest a friendship scavenger hunt, where you each pick a spot in the city that holds special meaning for you, and then you swap clues.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Or how about creating a friendship vision board together, where you each share your dreams and goals and then brainstorm ways you can support each other in achieving them.
Yes, it's about making those early interactions more purposeful and meaningful.
And who knows, maybe those shared experiences, those little adventures could be the foundation for a truly amazing friendship.
Exactly. It all comes down to taking the time to really get to know someone, to uncover those shared values, to create those memories that build a strong and lasting bond.
It's like planting a seed and then watching it grow.
I love that analogy because it takes time and care and attention to help a friendship blossom.
Well said. So whether you're looking to deepen those longtime friendships, navigate those inevitable bumps in the road, or nurture those brand new connections, remember this, those human connections, those are the things that make life rich and meaningful and full of joy.
Couldn't said it better myself.
So grab a journal, a pen, and maybe even a friend or two.
Yeah.
And let's start exploring the wonderful world of friendship.
Cheers to that.
And a big cheers to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into friendship. Until next time.